What's going on YouTube? So today is another unboxing video, equipment for the Wormery. I'm going to be unboxing the Worm Factory 360. So I'm just going to quickly run through all the components that you're going to get with your Worm Factory if you order it with the starter kit. So with your Worm Factory 360, you're going to get a block of coconut coir, which I can't show you because I already used it to start my other Worm Factory 360. You're going to get a bag of rock dust. That's for their gizzards. A bag of pumice stone, and that's for aeration in the soil so it doesn't get so clumped together. There's spaces in there so it doesn't go anaerobic and get stinky, basically. You're going to get a thermometer to check the temperature of your compost, like so. You're going to get a small plastic rake for digging around in your compost. You're going to get a scraper to scrape castings off of your trays. I ordered this one without the starter kit because I already had a starter kit with my first one, so it's just going to be the Worm Factory. First component you're going to see is the worm ladder. This is going to go in your bottom compartment so that the worms can climb back up if they get stuck in the drainage area. You're going to find your instruction manual, very important, don't throw that away. You're going to have a lid with more instructions on the top. You're going to get your bottom component. This is where all your liquid will drain off to and where all your components, your bins, will sit on top of. Oh, I actually ordered it without the starter kit, but they sent me a starter kit anyways. So I do have a block of coconut coir in here. I have another thermometer. I have a bag of shredded newspaper. Another bag of pumice stone. Another bag of rock dust. This is all useful stuff, so I'm glad they sent it. I didn't actually need it, so now I have extras, but that's great. Another scraper for scraping castings. And this is what I was actually looking for when I opened it again. This is your spigot, so this will go tab on that. Just pops on this little hole here and it just screws on. Screw it on so it's nice and snug. You're going to get a drainage bin, which doubles as a watering can, but it's really just a catch-all. It slips right under here to catch all your juices that come out the bottom, all your leachate, which is amazing fertilizer, and that's part of the reason why I'm using this system, because it collects it so easily. Your worm ladder just pops in here, just like so. Just sits right in there so that they have a little lip to climb up if they get stuck down here in the liquid area. And with your Worm Factory 360, you're going to get 4 trays. What the trays look like. They have a grate on the bottom so the worms can get through into the next bin. And that's pretty much it. So I'm going to cut now, and I'm going to show you how I set up a worm bin. Alright, so the first thing you're going to want to do is take half your brick of coconut coir and add some water. You can do all this in the catch-all bin that they provided. And as you see, it just drinks the water up. but we want to use enough water to get it nice and damp so it starts to break up here. And I think I might have added too much water here. Maybe not. Nope. Could probably use a bit more actually. So I'm just going to go ahead and spray that down. Nice and damp, broken up. Can't be afraid to get dirty when you're working with worms. So get in there. Broken up and damp. You want it damp but not wet. So you want to be able to squeeze it and not have it drip. It's what they call the drip test in the instructions, I believe. So I still see a little bit of dryness in there. Just going to dampen it down a little bit more. Good. So that's good. That's our base. So I'll set that off to the side. Next thing you're going to do is you're going to take a tray and you're going to add some newspaper to the bottom of the tray. Take a few sheets. I'm going to rip this one in half. Cover the corners. Good. Just for good measure, I'm going to dampen this down. Again, you want everything to be damp. Worms need about 80% humidity in order to breathe because they breathe through their skin, they breathe through the moisture. So you're going to go ahead and dump your coconut coir in there. Good. Spread that all out. Probably could use a little more. I used the whole brick in my first setup, but that looks good. Next thing you're going to want to do, add a sprinkle of rock dust, 1 to 2 tablespoons in each new worm tray. Now, I'm not really a exact measurements guy, so I'm just going to sprinkle it around. Sprinkle in a couple pinches of pumice stone. Make sure that's nice and aerated. You're going to take your rake. Try not to tear your newspaper up. You're just going to mix that in. Mix that in nice and good. Now this is just your base layer to get them started. So I'm going to go ahead and use the newspaper that they provided, the shredded newspaper. So you want lots of carbon in there to get them started and keep the smells down. Spread that all out. That's your base layer. Then you're going to add your food scraps in. So a pound of worms needs about half a pound of food scraps every day under ideal conditions. So in my first bin, I just used a bunch of coffee grounds as my base layer. Add some food scraps. So again, I'm not an exact measurements guy, so I'm just going to throw what I think looks good in there. In the future, because I work at a restaurant, so I have access to a lot of food waste. So in the future, I will be weighing it. Carbon, you want a 50-50 ratio of carbon material to food scraps, but just for the purposes of demonstration, I'm just going to throw a handful in there. Now, I freeze my food scraps just to break them down further. So I have some lettuce trimmings, pretty much just lettuce trimmings and coffee grounds. Some paper towel that's saturated with canola oil. Good amount of scraps in there so they have lots to eat. I've spent the last couple days shredding cardboard with that new paper shredder that I showed in my last video. So I'm just going to add some handfuls of shredded cardboard on top of that. Now you want to make sure everything's moist. My food scraps are frozen, so they have lots of liquid content in them that's going to drain off once they thaw. But I'm just going to wet this down with my spray bottle. Mix it up a bit. Make sure I'm getting everything nice and moist. Again, you want everything to be moist, not dripping wet, so you should be able to squeeze it and not have it drip. I'm gonna cut a lot of this out, so I'm just gonna talk to myself. Fuck yeah, doing some fucking worm videos. Once you have everything nice and damp, take some newspaper, set it on top, cover it up. So I'm just going to wet this down as well, just to keep some of the moisture in, keep it damp, keep it at 80% humidity so that they can breathe in there. And that's it. That's how I set up a worm bin. Thanks for watching, guys.